Oh, morning to the zombie squad. We were John C. Roseman, California. What's going on, guys? I'm just trying to get some things going on here. Uh, did a little bit of a spiel regarding a science lecture. You realize we've got currently in our date of June 10th, 2021, at running from 2:29 to 2:30, that we've got an ongoing eclipse happening on the East Coast. As I grab you. Not a totalitarian, they call it an annular. And the annular is a movement of the moon going across the Earth's sun uh, in a way where there's going to be like a ring for about a minute or two, and then after that, moon moves away. Right now, it's almost 1/3, almost about 1/4 to 1/3 across, and it's pretty damn interesting seeing this stuff. There are telescopes out there watching this, specialized telescopes out there. And I was trying to educate the public, and then what the hell happens? I get this one little science experiment coming across my damn floor, known as a biologic, one that you usually squish all the damn time. Scares the hell out of me. Never did like cockroaches in the first place. So, as I'm trying to converse here with the public here on the camera, I'm seeing this right across the damn floor over here, coming close. I'm like, son of a bitch. I freak out. Well, yeah, I do. I mean, I'm trying to keep track of something on a screen on a cell phone, watching the annular eclipse. This is on Cosmos Span, I guess. Gonna shot at that for a couple seconds there. I got this under landscape right now, so. But that's what's happening with the moon right now. The eclipse time right now is, well, it's still ongoing. Partial eclipse is going to be ending around 11:03 East Coast Standard Time. And uniform time code is 9:31 in the morning. And this is what's happening. This is what's happening. People can watch that on YouTube at this point. They'll probably watch the replay of it. I would hope so. I found science fascinating to a point. I'm trying to talk about that. Then talk about geopolitics and everything else going on these days. Good Lord. Some things in nature kind of reminds you that you're totally powerless over people, places, things, and events, and sometimes you just have to sit back and just watch the whole damn thing happen, which is pretty cool in itself. What drives me crazy when dealing with anything else happening that might drive me nuts, including local stuff and local events happening out here. I was thinking back to when I first got into this area of Roseman. And my brother, before my brother passed away, God rest his soul, we lived in a trailer park. And we had to worry about fires. We had to worry about them so damn badly that we had to keep watching our neighbors left and right to see if they're going to be doing fireworks. And we were banned in the whole park of doing fireworks. And if they were doing fireworks, out. Fire and trailer homes do not mix. Everyone had to have a fire extinguisher and fire alarms left and right. I had seen too many homes go up and too many fire reports, and then I'm not talking about just little news. I'm talking about when they're doing the full-fledged live shot, either above or down below. They're seeing a trailer home going up, and then realizing in one particular trailer home that one of my neighbors just lost, or actually one of my friends had lost. That was the hardest damn thing to see that. I mean, God. That was like about 30 plus years ago. We had fires going out in the Sun Valley, Sunland area. Somewhere in the hills. Somewhere in there was a trailer park. Somewhere in there used to be a trailer park and then gone. That's why I try to tell these people what's going on around here, but I get yelled at too many damn times. And then when I start seeing the fires in the different areas, I get too damn close to home. Even about 10 to 15 miles with a good stiff wind, it'll blow some of those ashes out. I'm not blowing them as in the fire out. I'm talking about transporting the hot ash through the air, landing on an unsuspecting roof, and then seeing that happen. Even with brush situation. Because you're not quite sure whether or not you're going to be getting that kind of transport. And that's what's scary. I've seen it happen too many damn times, and it's rattling as hell. And I hope to God I never see that again. But for some of those who haven't been through the damn things, haven't seen too many fires in their lifetime, or earthquake damages, I'd seen it. I'd seen neighborhoods reduced to ashes even after an earthquake. I'm not talking about just for ground shaking. I'm talking about gas explosions. I'm talking about fires happening where the engines were not even there. We're not even there. Holy moly. That scared the hell out of me. I'm seeing that back in 94 when the Northridge quake hit. I called it Northridge quake because most of the damage was happening in Northridge at the epicenter, but the damn fault line was the Northridge Reseda neighborhood. There was a street that the fault line was buried right underneath it. A hidden thrust fault. And when that hit, it changed a hell of a lot of lives. The damn thing was about a 7-pointer, but they downgraded into the 6 range because of the insurance situation. And it scared the hell out of people. Scared the hell out of me. Because I couldn't deal with that damn shit in the first place. I can't cover up the language. I have to say the language. It was scarier than hell. And when you see people living in neighborhoods and seeing their houses torn apart, bad enough they see it torn apart by fire, by flood, and everything else. It's the most horrifying thing I've ever seen. And numbing. I had dreams for that for God knows how long. I hadn't told anybody about it, but sometimes it would scare the shit out of me. It's bad enough I lived through earthquakes growing up as a kid since 71. My first earthquake was 71 Sylmar, and that was enough damage right there. But a few other good shakers after that. I was reminded life was way too short. No matter how many times you keep studying about the geologic nature of your own damn planet, it still surprises the living crap out of you. It's a natural process for the planet, but for a human being, it scares the crap out of you because there's no way for you to control it, except through understanding the process itself. And even after I took the classes, even as a young man, and then as an older adult, I'm seeing this happen. And I'm feeling the effects of it. It's like, God, I still don't like it. So yeah, I know what natural disasters are like. I know what fire does. I know what quakes do. And floods. I haven't had that problem. Thank God. But there's always a first time. These kids are too way too damn young to remember any of that shit because it hasn't happened in their lifetime. They also didn't have to deal with geopolitics trying to wipe them out one way or another. I remember the Cold War, the end of the Cold War between Russia and the United States. Damn thing had been on for decades, and I had to be born into the century where it was just about ending. So yeah, I saw it. The collapse of the Soviet Union. So theoretically, capitalism was supposed to be reigning, and then there was supposed to be democracy, and then you get a false democratic elections going on, where you get power mad people in office. Back to this. Back on the Cosmos Sapiens site on YouTube. Isn't that cool? Right now it's 2:39, close to 2:40 Pacific Standard Time. Give it about another 30 minutes, we'll probably see it, or maybe. But I don't know, about 30 to 35 minutes ago, or almost 40 minutes ago, it started. It takes about an hour or two for it to go across. Have a nice ring of fire. Fire. Ten years ago, I was working in a retail store, and I'm seeing the hillsides of Lancaster and Palmdale getting torched. Now, even though I lived in an area where theoretically I was well far away from it, it was too damn close for comfort. Given the physical nature of the valley itself, living in a large flat floor, basically, plains, basically you would call them, floodplains. And in this situation here, if there was any mudslides happening, a lot of areas would be getting it, especially when you have the hillsides denuded by extreme fires that tear away the watershed. But we haven't had any floods out here for a hell of a long while, so they'll talk about them after rainstorms, so we just don't get them anyway. And when they do, mudslides happen, it hits. But over here in Roseman, we're all right. 10 years ago, it was a different location in the Antelope Valley, California. And I'm seeing the fires denuding and chewing up things left and right. Even Lake Elizabeth. I'm seeing the fires and I'm seeing the ashfall. Bad enough I had to wear goggles and a dust mask to keep the ash away from my nostrils. If I had a better respirator, I think I would have been able to sustain it. Been able to breathe somewhat. When I saw those ashes coming down, it scared the hell out of me. I also watched years earlier, growing up as a kid, living in the San Fernando Valley. If you guys ever pulled up a Google map of the San Fernando Valley, you'll see something about that one. Just to make my point. Because I want to show you the geologic differences. Alright. Alright. I'm going to move this a bit. Okay. Google Maps. Take a look. Now, if you notice the angular shape, the triangle shape, you'll notice there's two mountain ranges intersecting each other. Two fault lines. In between that triangle is where the Antelope Valley is. It covers a range from Palmdale all the way over to Mojave, almost to the border of the Tehachapi area. It extends further eastward. Safrananda Valley is just a small bowl, if you happen to look at it. Barely. Sorry. And that's, I'll show you this. Now, if you happen to look at it on Google Maps itself, you'll be able to put out the Safrananda Valley. So if you notice, it's surrounded. There are certain areas, there are certain gaps that there's been flow through, geologically speaking. And it's basically just a huge sedimentary bowl. Every year since growing up, I've been out there since '68 anyway, I had seen fires ring around this area about 2 or 3 times in different hot spots. They would jump around left and right. And every time I'd get living too damn close to it. And it didn't matter how many miles across we're dealing with here. You still feel like you're trapped. Because the ashes would be falling right into the valley. Regardless of where the wind was blowing, the ashes would be falling into the valley. It just scared the hell out of me because some of those ashes I knew were hot enough to burn. And somehow they didn't. It still scared the shit out of me anyway. So imagine when we had the 94 earthquake. Just by looking at that geologic nature there, everything else got shooken up like crazy, like a bowl full of jelly. You put your heavy-duty machinery, or use this for example. Heavy, 3 or 4 cell. These, pretty damn heavy, right? Put it on a sheet of Jello, strongest film lift you got. Shake up the Jello, and there was no stability in some of those buildings. They'd collapse on their sides. Not to mention, or just liquefaction. I was seeing that also. Now, when it comes time for man-made disasters, we had some nature disasters regarding fires, but when we had man-made disasters, those are the things that really scared the shit out of me, especially when we had human stupidity or some guy trying to get his kicks, burning down places left and right, and being trapped in a ball and feeling like there's no place out, there's no way out, knowing that the traffic situation during that time was enclosed. If there had been freeways trapped, or actually closed off, how many canyons were you able to get through, if any? What would the streets be like going through the Safrananda Valley? See, growing up, I really had to start thinking about that kind of survival situation. And then we get into the Antelope Valley with its wide open areas. But I kept noticing that Palmdale and Lancaster were all huddled together. Little Rock on the side, right next to the mountain ranges. Parablossom as well. Lake Elizabeth, hidden in the mountain ranges, where they have nice, lovely lakes, drying up left and right. And what scared the hell out of me is the geologic time bomb happening out there in the first place. And it still is. But that didn't scare the hell out of me as much. No. It was only when we started having the fires creeping from down from the mountains to the floors of the valley that was scaring the shit out of me. Not to mention having the wind blowing the damn ashes across the ways towards the house. Wherever the hell I was living during those days. And that scared the fuck out of me. Pardon my language. but it scared the living crap out of me. Densely populated as Palmdale is, there are certain areas that also were full of sparsity. There are plotlands of sparse vegetation, desert landscape, including Lancaster as well, in between the areas. And outside of the areas, still brush, still burnables all over the damn place. We're lucky enough that LA County has a sufficient strike force to keep things under check. And they had fought for weeks in the mountains regarding the fires. So in certain areas and along the region there, in the past 15 years, we've got floodplains exposed and ready for mudslides. Certain areas have actually had the fires about 15, 20 years ago. Well, on that situation there, hopefully the plant life has held the soil intact. So if we actually get, by a miracle, any heavy rains at one time, any sudden downpours, then we won't get the mudslides as much. But there's always that chance, especially during the summertime when we get the humidity factor kicking in. We get the summer thunderstorms coming in with deludes, with a lot of rain coming down, a lot of rain. But what scares the hell out of me more is the fire. It's not the floods, it's the fire. It always has. I'm seeing fireworks happening these days more often. People love to celebrate the fireworks. How they do it in cities like crazy. And you got the city mayors and you got the fire departments and the police departments screaming and yelling at the population, don't do that, go to your local areas. Well, we have set up areas, safe areas for that. I gotta laugh at that one because sometimes the safe areas would also have the fires over there too. Give it enough wind conditions or something happens to the damn apparatus and then boom. I've seen that happen. Freak people out left and right, scared the living crap out of them. You see other people laughing their asses off over the damn thing. You think it's funny. I lived to them long in the damn San Fernando Valley and Antelope Valley, but in Southern California, period. That no one in this damn valley like I do this area. You just don't treat things lightly. I know we've got a worse drought situation happening right now. I know it. I mean, not seeing the patterns. I've been seeing the patterns these days. It's not easy. Mother Nature's pissed off at us, that's for sure. Because we're not treating her very kindly at this point. Our own way of trying to burn ground left and right by stupid actions. By deliberate or by accident, doesn't matter. Still stupidity. And we're doing it to ourselves. I've seen fires happen out in Acton and Agua Dulce, Soledad Canyon areas, and having those hot ashes being drifted towards the Antelope Valley and starting fires out here. It always scared the shit out of me. So, out here in Roseman, we are in the middle of it, and we shouldn't be having that kind of a problem, right? Wrong. It's not looking at the map, it's looking at the general area that we're in right now as it is. Let me explain something. I'm going to show something on Google Maps. I know, I'm going to be biting this on this one, but still. Probably can't see it as much anyway. But even though you probably would see population density, in between the population density and surrounding the areas is burnable land. Scrub brush, trees, weeds all over down the place. Just perfect for or abandoned places with wooden shacks. The location where I'm at right now, I'm located right next to Edwards Air Force Base. Just on the outskirts of it. Outside the apartment, if I'd go outside to the main street of Rosamond Boulevard, look eastward, I can see area prime for fires. We've been having winds for about a week or two, strong enough that if the firecrackers, actually fireworks, been going up, would get areas torched. What's worse than that is when we have some of that dry stuff out here on the property itself, where I live. And that's what scares me the most. That's what scares the hell out of me. But that's just not just thinking about that. I'm also thinking about the damn trailer homes across the street from the damn apartment complex over here. The ones that have been over here about 40 or 50 years. God, they're prime for it. They are so damn prime for it. The construction of trailer homes these days are trying to make them more and more fire resistant these days. More and more equipment to be put in there to hopefully lessen the chance of people dying of trailer homes. But unfortunately these days they're not foolproof. They're not fireproof. And for one's 40 or 50 years, right across the street from us, it's open season. Now, if we actually get any fireworks going on, and I know we have been for a while, and we have the winds hitting just right on this one, they'll be blowing the ashes across to their area. We've got abandoned trailer, a couple of abandoned trailers behind our trailer home. Some of them are occupied, others are not. And in that area, fireworks are being launched left and right. So as I'm seeing the contrails last night, and I'm looking at the Google Maps what's going on, I know we're in trouble. This is only a matter of time, a matter of when and where. And the winds are blowing at a good clip to make the ashes fall, if they're hot enough and sustained enough, onto an area where. That's what I kept thinking. I'd seen it too many damn times. Besides watching it on the damn news, I've seen it too many damn times in person. It's not good. But I get trapped in a damn bowl feeling. And I'm seeing this happen. And it's scary as hell seeing a ridge line full of flames. What scares the hell out of me is seeing those red landscapes right in front of my own damn window. And having no way out to get, no place to go, no place to run, just trapped. That's why I go crazy. That's why I go crazy at this point over here. Try telling these damn kids about this shit. They haven't been through this damn shit like I have. They haven't experienced that fear of not being able to leave, not being able to run, not having a safe place, that being trapped in one area, you're dead. Living in the San Fernando Valley, I know the whole area has been compacted with homes, and interspersed you have many city fire departments. And then the outskirts you have, and then maybe in a couple of areas in the city, you have county response units for fire activity, brush activity and stuff, you'll have units ready to go out to combat the fire, both county and city out, in different areas. It doesn't matter. They work with each other anyway. Regular things happening within their own little territories is one thing, but when it talks about brush, city and county are utilized all the damn time. Try to cover each other while they're battling it. Out here in Antelope Valley, we've got that kind of county system going on in LA, but Kern, shit. Kern, we just got one fire station out here in Roseman. One. For about over 30,000 people in this place. We've got one fire station right over a damn hump, which is a freeway. If we actually have a disaster happening and we happen to lose access between the east and west end of the Roseman, we're fucked. Pardon my language. But that's what we are. See, these kids don't run this kind of shit through their heads because they don't have any context. They don't have any perspective. They've got no experience. Unless they've already said something about it I didn't catch. But I know. And it's terrifying. It's terrifying being caught into a situation where you can't control it. And then after you do, you have to find ways not to have the damn thing repeated again. So you have to keep rethinking the same disaster things all over your head. And pray that the disaster doesn't happen. But it will. It generally does. And either you're prepared for it or you're going to get killed by it. That's how it works. So this is what's going on with me this morning. Besides thinking about a total annular eclipse that's still happening right now, as it is. Even as we're talking, even as I'm talking to you, it's 3:01 in the morning, and it's still June 10th, 2021. I'm going to stay up as long as I can before I start crashing out. But this is on Cosmospan, YouTube channel. So I'm watching this and trying to keep track of the damn thing while I'm telling you about what's been going on regarding fear and natural disasters. The longest damn video I've ever done. Well, there's one of those anyway. I'm usually talking about other things that depress the living crap out of me or scare the living crap out of me. And they offer more and more stuff to bore the living crap out of listeners and stuff. But watching this, seeing this is a natural phenomena. It's an unnatural phenomena that scares the living crap out of me. Human interaction with nature on the rotten scale. To where I know we're going to be screwed over one way or another. And it scares the crap out of me. Admitting this stuff on video. Talking about this on video. Trying to explain to whoever's going to be watching this thing. I lived with a lot. But I'm probably luckier than most. I haven't been living in a forest area and having an entire town wipe out. I haven't lived in a trailer park and saw it go up and have the entire park go up in flames. I lucked out on that one. But I didn't luck out on the damn earthquakes. And I didn't luck out on the damn disaster situation. Or seeing the fires in different areas or floods. And seeing homes and people ruined. That's what scares the hell out of me. And I love it when they say, well, that happened a long time ago. I say, come on. This is a constant basis right now, as it is. This is a constant situation right now that you still have to accept. Just about there for the eclipse. See, the thing is, in trying to explain to the youth, they have no concept, they have no perception unless they've already been through one. We've had maybe, about a couple of years ago, July 4th, in 2019, we had an earthquake up in Ridgecrest. It was a 6-pointer. We still have an aftershocks every once in a great while on that one. It's a good-sized quake. It does some damage left and right, but it's not a town destroyer like a 7-pointer or above than that. And when I've seen other things happening, like about an 8-pointer happening in Mexico or in the Middle East or anywhere in an earthquake zone that's going to happen, where a fault line erupts, either a lateral slip strike or a nice thrust fault. Oh, shit. Yeah, those things are fun. Or a hidden thrust fault. That's even better. Nobody knew about the Northridge quake when it hit. Nobody knew about the damn fault line. Nobody even predicted it. We didn't even have any geologic evidence during that time. But this thing shifted. It was a shallow one. It was not a deep one. It was a shallow one. And because of that, it shifted everything around all throughout Southern California. Hell, they even felt it up in Vegas. It was that powerful. It felt it as far as San Diego. It felt it in Bakersfield because there was enough energy out there. Hell, they felt it on San Luis Obispo. There was enough energy in that damn thing. It felt like a nuclear bomb hit us. And that was the scariest damn thing. I thought some of the other smaller ones rattled my cage a little bit. But I had been through the 71 quake as a young kid. And I didn't like it because I thought my world was going to be ending and I didn't realize what the hell was going on. And then, always over here in Arrows hit. Over here in Arrows hit. Another quake hit during the Landers quake also hit. So I remember those two jobs. But Northridge, oh God. January 17th, 1994, 4:30 in the frickin' morning. Some people said it was 4:31 in the morning. I kept thinking it was during that time. But that thing would have hit. It hit hard. It hit fast. And for 30 seconds to 30 to 45 seconds, it was an eternity. It was just enough to turn everyone else's lives into a frickin' nightmare during that time. I lived in Reseda during that time, along a street called Clare, 3 or 4 blocks away from ground zero. But that energy wave transmitted all throughout the Southland. And a accompanying town called the community of Northridge, right next to Reseda, we had buildings shifting like crazy. We had collapses galore. In the hillsides of Granada Hills north of the area, we had gas lines and water lines bursting left and right. We had fire and flood at the same time, literally. I'd never seen so many damn homeless people in my life. We could have been red tagged in our own damn home, but the landlord viewed it still viable and livable. We had cracked foundations, we had septic tank collapse and leach lines gone. We were the fortunate ones. We didn't have a roof ready to cave in on us, even though we should have. But it came close to that point, didn't it? Almost there, guys. When they talk about outdoor barbecues and camping out left and right, you know, my brother had taken me a couple of times to do campouts. We had barbecues. And there's your ring. There's your ring. We had the barbecues going on. We had to find charcoal left and right. We had to salvage what we had. Water was water, batteries, food. We had to go all over and hunt like crazy. There were certain sections of the San Fernando Valley that, I'll show you one more time. Nature and disaster. And now, the end of the show. End of the show. Just a few brief seconds on that one. But just for a few brief seconds, for 30 seconds, and talking about a disaster, it took me a long time to that. I couldn't explain the horrors, and I couldn't explain the perspective and context given to people left and right for it. It's no wonder that every time we had a small shaking somewhere, that we always had the seismologists from Caltech, and we also had the USGS talking to us like crazy. Kate Hutton and Lucy Jones. Kate Hutton retired, so did Lucy Jones, but Lucy Jones was the more familiar one, since she was talking to us concerning about the damn disaster in the first place. She was talking to us about earthquakes. Now she's in a public think tank, trying to educate more and more people regarding how to deal with earthquake disasters and other natural disasters. She's become a Southlands expert. So every time we've had an earthquake happening out here, depending on what size Richter it was, either a 2.3 or a 3 point or a 4 point, we still had seismologists coming over here to remind us left or right. For those of us who lived through the 94 and Landers quakes, and not to mention Whittier Narrows, well, we've had communities torn apart left or right, not to mention Redcrest. These disasters are fresh in our heads. Having fires is fresh in our heads. Mankind's stupidity, including with fireworks. Campfires unattended. See, I can't educate them long enough on this. I can't tell them the horrors unless they've already walked through the damn thing. You can give them book education about this one. You can throw pamphlets and pictures. No. If they're going to get through this damn thing, they got to have their tails burned off. They got to understand what the hell they're dealing with. They got to have a healthy respect for it. And understand you don't want to do what you're doing. Because it scares the hell out of everybody. It's not just a going up in the air. The explosion, this hot ashes. My dog does not like this. The smell of sulfur and the explosions in the air, or the popping on the ground when you do the firecrackers. It's the sparks that happen in different areas when they happen to light up. As the hot ashes traveling to other areas. They pick up, if they're strong enough, they pick up on a fire source that can burn. That's what scares the hell out of me. What if I'm not fast enough, or I'm not there with a fire extinguisher ready for it? What happens if nobody's there for it? That's what scares me the most. What if I'm not fast enough to save my home? This whole damn complex should be the same thoughts and feelings of everybody else, but they take it too damn for granted. I guess they haven't been plagued enough with enough natural disasters. It's bad enough we put ourselves through man-made disasters of gunfire left and right. We're fortunate out here in our area we haven't even had that. If we did, maybe I have a different respect and different understanding where the hell they were coming from. If they actually still came from that kind of environment. But I know what having a burnable environment is. And it scares me all the damn time. I can see the ethereal desert with the clouds flowing over the place, and it looks kind of pretty at times. But on the hot, dry days when you have wind blowing, and the temperatures are just right, and the wind's just right, oh my God. Oh my God, we're in trouble. And we can't even tell ourselves that, can we? We don't even know until it happens. And we start blaming everybody else for the damn stupidity. And that's the other thing that pisses me off. Damn ignorance. Damn indifference. The arrogance. I'm not trying to be a damn... seems like I'm trying to be a damn hero. On the mouth, that's for sure. But I like to tell these kids just... The reason why you don't do it is because you don't know what losing stuff is like. Losing lives. Being trapped. No way out. And there's no way to tell them that fear unless they've been in a situation like that. Then maybe they would understand it. There's no concept. None that I know of. And there's no perception of it or perspective either. Nothing. With that, I'm going to post this out there. Well, solar eclipse is just about done. When it reached that angular ring, that was it. Now it's just the completion of it. So with that, I'm heading back to bed. Science and terror. Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering, I don't know, can you read it? Probably not. But it was from Cosmo Sapien YouTube channel, just to let you know.